Hello and good day to you wherever you are. I'm John Wright. Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. Is that the price of free speech today in the United States? Can't everyone afford $44 billion? We have Trump starting a channel called the Truth Social Media Company. We'll see how that goes. But I still don't understand why Trump didn't just switch over to a different platform when he got kicked off Twitter. Everybody would have followed him, including myself. But it's true to say Americans have now lost their freedom of speech, even though Twitter is bought by Elon Musk. But look how expensive the loss of their freedom of speech was. The government shut down the economy and destroyed millions of people's lives without letting us debate on whether we want to close our business or not, essential or non-essential. The economy was shut down over a flu-like virus called the coronavirus. Now there are trillions of dollars missing from the Treasury, which we are finding out more and more as each day passes, as new PPP fraud stories appear in the news. Without our freedom of speech, we lose our ability to protect ourselves, leaving us defenseless against legalities. The freedom of speech has been stolen from Americans by its politicians along with Western media like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. They are not allowed to censor American speech. Now, if these companies are working on platforms in other countries, then they must abide by those countries' laws, just like they must abide by our laws when they're working in our country. But we don't have anyone in our government who is looking out for us in our country. So we are stuck in a virtual prison-like atmosphere while our goods and services are being looted by the same people that we trusted for and voted for to take care of us. What Americans don't know can save them from theft of the Treasury and our lives as a whole. You see, the United States settled this problem of private corporations censoring speech in 1946, back when the U.S. had politicians who cared about the country and cared about the people who live in it. Sadly, we don't have any politicians who care about us anymore. Politicians care about anything other than making the largest amount of money they can for themselves by lying and stealing from us. Marsh vs Alabama was decided by the Supreme Court in 1946. Now, Marsh vs Alabama states that the Supreme Court held that a person distributing religious literature on a sidewalk in a company town was protected by the First Amendment rights of freedom of the press and religion and could not be arrested for trespass. The court found that the company town functioned like a public town, a town square like Twitter. The U.S. Supreme Court examined the manner in which the Gulf-owned property functioned in the community. The Justice Hugo L. Black noted that the more an owner for his advantage opens up his property for the use by the public in general, the more do his rights become circumscribed by the statutory and constitutional rights of those who use it. Whether a corporation or a municipality owns or possesses the town, the public in either case has an identical interest in the functioning of the community in such manner that the channels of communication remain free. Then the Supreme Court Justice wrote, "The rights of the owner, which the Constitution protects, as well as the right of the free speech, are not outweighed by the interest of the trespasser, even though he trespasses in behalf of religion and free speech. So lex rex, the law is king, and the Constitution protects both parties by allowing the First Amendment to trounce private property rights and corporate ownership. We fought a civil war for this same principle." Corporations wanted to use slave labor in the southern United States. But under the United States Constitution, every man is created equal in the eyes of God. So no can-do use slavery in the United States. But corporations didn't see it that way, and we had to fight a civil war about it. 600,000 Americans died in that war, right? Newsflash. The media lies. States don't have rights. States have powers. Americans have rights, right? It is the state that incorporates the limited liability company, giving the company the power to legally work in the United States. That company doesn't have the power to take our rights given to us by the same state and federal institutions. Right? Our rights are given to us by God and our Constitution. Don't let empire steal your God-given rights. Without your freedom of speech, the citizen is defenseless against the empirical law. The citizens are financially defenseless against the giant corporations such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That is why we have the U.S. Constitution. That's why the U.S. Constitution was forged, to protect man from empire. The British Empire, you remember? Private corporations. If a person's speech is taken away, it leaves the citizen with only one option of defense, which is physical. Also, which leaves the individual citizen to be consumed by the corporate-run government, right? Like the ring of power in Lord of the Rings, the Republicans and Democrats alike crave the authoritarian power of their government position. That is why they are there. Do not trust anyone who steps up to the precious jewel of liberty. That is why we have a Constitution. Lex Rex is the king, not these ungrateful, backstabbing, two-faced, murdering stewards of the Constitution that we have now. Chain these monsters down with the Constitution. Don't let them tell you what is what. We don't let foxes guard the chicken coop for a reason. That reason is because foxes eat chickens. Facebook, Twitter, and any other social media platform on the internet is acting as the town square. And therefore, whether a corporation or a municipality owns or possesses the town, the public in either case has an identical interest in the functioning of that community in such a manner that the channels of communication remain free. Stop watching sports. Stop gambling. You're an adult now. Act like it. Stop being told what to do by your conservative liberal media. Run for office, please. Take your country back from via corporate, empirical, private sector control. I'm John Wright. Thank you for listening. Have a great day wherever you are.